I'm just using some footage from the direct here to show off, but anyway, in general, I just want to give my opinions on Byleth being in Smash because I I've been trying to explain why a lot of people are against it because it seems like a lot of people's response to it is just hose mad, hose mad, hose mad, hose mad, fuck you, hose mad, that kind of thing. Just dismissing the idea of people could be reasonably upset about this in any way. So I'm trying to explain why people would be upset here because personally, I'm kind of upset. Um, and the problem is I think the fact that let's see. So this is in a way this is essentially the straw that broke the camel's back for the whole Fire Emblem characters and Smash thing, because this is just for a lot of people this is one too many. This is like the tipping point. Some people were reaching that point with Corrin, but then this just really tipped it over, especially with the fact that it was put as the last character in a DLC pack that before then had been all like brand new characters, brand new franchises, brand new everything. And so, the straw that broke the camel's back, there are reasons. There are reasons for it. And I want to try and explain some of those reasons. So one of those reasons being just Fire Emblem in general. Some of it doesn't have to do with Byleth at all, but Fire Emblem in general. Fire Emblem is just, it's not a franchise that really, at least in my mind, it's not a franchise that warrants such a massive such a massive rep, you know? It doesn't warrant having 8 characters. It doesn't warrant being on par with Mario and Pokemon, some of those recognizable video game franchises ever. Especially since the Fire Emblem franchise was almost shelved completely in 2012 if Awakening hadn't saved it, right? Like, if Awakening hadn't succeeded as well as it did, Fire Emblem would be dead right now. It would be dead in the dirt. It would be nothing, right? And mind you, this is coming from a guy who likes Fire Emblem. I like Fire Emblem. I like Smash. I like all of it. I'm a Fire Emblem fan here, and I really do not want to see another Fire Emblem character in Smash. Because Fire Emblem is just not... There's the part there's the part of me that says Fire Emblem is a franchise that serves maybe 2-3 characters, right? There's a part of me that thinks that. There's a part of me that's concerned about the amount of Fire Emblem reps in general for a game that's supposed to be a celebration of video game history and the legacy of video games as a whole, right? There's that. And then there's the part of me that's like, just Fire Emblem in general is not a good franchise to have this many reps with. It's just not. It's really not, because Fire Emblem, unlike things like Mario or Pokemon or hell, even Star Fox or Earthbound or whatever, Fire Emblem is not a franchise that is not continuous. It is not a continuous franchise, for the most part. With, like, the rare exception, if a Fire Emblem game comes out, all the characters, all the story, everything is brand new, and it just happens to be related to the Fire Emblem in some way. In some vague way. That's about it. Right? That's it. These Fire Emblem games are not connected to each other whatsoever. There's not. They are completely separate worlds, completely separate characters, completely separate stories. And because of that, the Fire Emblem games are not made to necessarily... The characters, specifically, are not necessarily made to come off as iconic or unique in any way. They are meant to serve the purpose of characterizing their one game world, and that's it. They're not there to, like, be a symbol of the franchise. None of them are. In most other games, you have a character or set of characters that are the symbol of that franchise. They are the face of the franchise. They are iconic. Fire Emblem doesn't have that. Who's the face of Fire Emblem? Who's the face of Fire Emblem as a whole? Is it Marth? Ike? Chrom? Lucina? Robin? Corrin? Byleth? Who the fuck is the face of Fire Emblem? No one knows, not even Nintendo, because Fire Emblem doesn't have iconic characters. It's not designed to be iconic. It's designed to be good, yes, and they're great games, and the characters are cool, but they are not designed to be iconic. They're not designed to be symbols. They all look vague, like all the Fire Emblem fighters all look and behave vaguely the same. Mind you, I'm coming at this from the perspective of a normal person, someone who's not massively into Smash or massively into Fire Emblem, because anyone who's like that can easily pick out the differences between, all the characters and, show, how they're all perfectly unique and all that. I'm coming at this from your normal person who sees this, you know? Someone who likes Smash, who may or may not know about Fire Emblem, and sees this after all those DLCs, right? They see this and they think, oh great, it's the 8th out of 7 more of these generic looking characters who wield swords, who run around wielding swords in weird clothing armor stuff, right? That's it. That's it. That's all they come off to people, and they are only slight variations on the same concept, really. Like Byleth has the whole, new like weapons per special direction thing, but in the end, Byleth's main form of combat is still swords. It's still swords, just with some little gimmicks tacked on. It was the same problem with Corrin. It was the same problem with Roy, with Ike, with everyone else. It's a sword character with a gimmick tacked on. That's it. That's all it is. And it's a pretty bad gimmick too, because axes, lances, and bows all have completely different playstyles from one another. You can't just shove all these into one character without doing like a Pokemon trainer thing of having it be like a character per weapon type, That's the problem here. That's the issue. Like, Fire Emblem is not a franchise that is designed to have unique characters, and so when you try to shove in 8 characters all attempting to be the face of Fire Emblem, with Fire Emblem's style in both gameplay and looks, it all starts to become too much for people, and you reach a boiling point, which is Byleth right here. This is the boiling point with these people. It started out with Marth, and that would have been fine. At least I think it started out with Marth. Was it Marth or I can't remember. It started out fine, and then they just kept going and going and going, because I guess Nintendo felt that they hadn't quite met their face of Fire Emblem yet, I guess. Right? And if you, like, I'm not saying Fire Emblem doesn't deserve to be in Smash. I think it does. It does. It just doesn't need 8 reps. Because once you get 8 of these fighters in, and you don't do anything unique because you're all trying to make the protagonist of each game be the iconic one, it all gets to be too much, and all starts to feel the same, and all starts to blur, when there is so much potential in a new DLC fighter for Smash. At this point, basically anything's on the table. There's no holds barred at this point. Like, anything could happen at this point. And we get another one of these guys? Really? That's all you get? Wow. And Byleth is also a terrible choice in general. If you want to pick a Three Houses character, don't pick Byleth. Byleth in canon is a literal emotionless husk of a human being because his soul was replaced with someone else's. Like, don't pick him, a character who has literally no character to him, for a character fighter. Like, why would you do that? Oh, right, because he's the protagonist of the big selling game. Not because he's unique or has potential or anything. No, because he's the main character. That's why. That's why. It's ridiculous. It's gotten ridiculous at this point, and it just needs to stop. You need to stop doing this shit. You can't just pull this shit at some point. Fire Emblem just needs to calm the fuck down. It is not Pokemon. It's not Mario. It's not Star Fox. It almost died in 2012. Like, seriously. I don't think it deserves this many reps. I believe the reps that it does get are always created in such a generic way because they're all trying to be the iconic protagonist character instead of being their own thing. And in the end, this was just the tipping point. The problem's always been there. It's just that the problem's finally reached its tipping point now. Right? It's just ridiculous. I could go in deeper, but I had a whole script for this and everything, but I just felt No. This is way too petty a matter to script a whole friggin' video over and edit it and everything. No, I just felt we'll just do, you know, generic. We'll just do my rant video, my like 10-minute rant video on this. So yeah, those are sort of my general thoughts on it. I'll see you all later. Goodbye.